you away from your face.
Make sure it gets all three of them. Coretta Scott King once said, "As one whose husband and mother-in-law have died the victims of murder and assassination, I stand firmly and unequivocally opposed to the death penalty for those convicted of capital offenses. An evil deed is not redeemed by an evil deed of retaliation. The death penalty is not just ineffective, inefficient, and immoral, but is also detrimental to the society that is implemented in it. The death penalty is very racially biased. It is a classist structure of government, and it is flawed and must be abolished. While white victims account for approximately one-half of all murder victims, 80% of all capital cases involve white victims. Furthermore, as of October 2002, 12 black compared with 178, 12 white people, wait, no, 12 people have been executed where the defendant was white and the murder victim black, compared with 178 black defendants executed for murders with white victims. This racial disparity is quite obvious and apparent when you look at these statistics. Pete Buttigieg said, "The death penalty has been one of many examples where racial discrimination has played out. You can see it in the simple fact that someone convicted of the same crime is more likely to face the death penalty if they are black." Another qualm I have with the death penalty is its permanence. Once you kill somebody, it can't be undone. There is no chance for reform, and there is no chance to make things right. This is especially bad because of the amount of false convictions there are. The Innocence Project, which is used in many states and helps to fight for wrongly convicted people of capital offenses, has exonerated very many people throughout history. The National Registration of Exonerations lists inadequate legal representation at trial as a contributing factor in more than a quarter of these wrongful homicide convictions. A lot of these convictions are of people of color and people who are of lesser income. Because these people have to be represented by subpar lawyers, there's a higher chance that they are convicted and sentenced to crimes and sentenced to death for the crimes they commit. The death penalty is an outdated form of punishment. It was first written in law in Hammurabi's Code in 1754 BC. Hammurabi's Code was an outlandish set of laws that punish people for things in ways that are absurd. One of their um, one of their methods of conviction was to tie up the accused and throw them in a river. And if they were to escape, then they were exonerated and freed by the gods. And if they sunk and drowned and died, they were deemed not guilty by the gods. Poor people are more likely to be sentenced to death, statistically. In effect, nobody who is not from the losing class has ever been thrust into a death cell in these United States. It is unfair that those who are poor and of lesser income can be convicted of crimes and sentenced to death quite more often than those who are rich. In conclusion, my question is, how does killing someone prove that killing is wrong? 4 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay.